Welcome back to My Conscious Dad right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Today we are talking about millennials. I'm your host, Jazmine Urbina, here with my dad and co-host Alex Urbina and my brother Mark Urbina and Rio Cragun, and we are talking about millennials and answering some of the questions from business owners, parents, anyone who needs help understanding us.
Yeah, I think we all need help, including myself. So this one came from a mentor. The mentor says, the question they have is, tell me the top 3 most important qualities that you respect in a mentor, a boss, or a parent. So identify 3 important qualities that you respect in a mentor, a boss, or a parent. And I'm assuming that they want to know this so that they can practice being that for you guys.
Yeah. I think something that I definitely can relate to is when, that person, mentor, or coach, essentially, they can come down to your level. So if they're older and that maybe they make a joke about something going on in your life or in the media,
that you can identify with.
Exactly. Once they come down to your level, then you're like, oh,
he's cool.
He's cool. Exactly. is the term that you would want to use. And I think little things like that consistently help you guys connect on a level.
So it's almost like we have to win you over a little bit at a time. We have to kind of show up in a way that you go, all right, I like this guy, or hey, I'm open to him.
Well, it just shows that hey, you're willing to learn something about me. You care about me enough to know,
to be in your world.
Exactly.
Yeah, be understanding.
Exactly.
I try to do that, and I show up corny. Apparently,
that's because you are corny.
Like all these guys will be on the show, and I'll throw something out that I think that I know about you guys, or something you're interested in, and then they just roll their eyes. They got this thing about, me being in that corny box. Apparently,
yeah. But if you had a different energy and you weren't into us and you weren't really into what the kids want, then this entire show would be about you, about the conscious dad, and not really about what your kids need or what your employees or anyone younger or other than you is.
Yeah, I think you may come off corny to us because you're our dad, but I'm sure to a lot of younger kids you have a great impact with them because you come down to their level and they can relate with you. And I definitely see seeing a lot of kids have that experience with you, and I sometimes get jealous because I'm like, oh, I don't have that same experience with you anymore, probably because it's just expected from you on my end. So,
got it. So 3 important things or qualities that you respect in a mentor, boss, or a parent. What are they?
One of the things that I really like is having someone who embraces change and is really open to reinventing themselves in their business or relationships, really anything that I feel they're able to grow and they're open to being better at or understanding more. And I'm not saying that their old ways and their old habits aren't good and ours are better. I'm saying that if you can embrace all of them, all the things that you know from your 50 plus years on this planet, plus all the things that I know that are going on, like Mark said, on my level below you, right there you have the ultimate package to win. That's why there's a lot of people who, the older people and business owners, they hire marketing directors and they hire social media experts and they do all this stuff to try to get it. When if you hire a millennial, a good level-headed millennial, you can get those things for free. You don't need to hire somebody the same age as you to tell you data and statistics. You need someone to give you that meat and potatoes, the things that people like us are looking for.
So definitely got to be open-minded. They definitely have to be willing to grow and keep evolving and self-aware. So those are the kinds of people that you respect and you honor, and they got your ear. In other words, they're influential to you. Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. Now this one comes from a parent. How involved do you want your parents to be in your life? Paint that picture. What's the perfect picture for us as a parent? Because sometimes we cross the line, right? We're too busy into all your stuff, and so where's the line for us? Yeah, you need to paint that picture for us so we know how to be involved in your life, because we want to. You're our babies. You're the people that we love the most, and we would take a bullet for you. We'd give up our life for you. So we want to know, how do we back off from being too smothering, and how to come a little closer when we're too far.
Yeah, I think for me, when I felt that pressure of, hey, I'm in your life, I wanted to resist more. I wanted to get away from it. So
you felt if I was crossing that line and I was being too into it, you felt a pressure?
Yeah, like I felt like my privacy was now being invaded. So now I was on defense mode or runaway mode or hide, or it wasn't a healthy experience. I think there's a line that you get to, and you can see how your kid reacts.
But some of us can't see that. That's why we're trying to say, give us some signs. How are we showing up?
Or maybe it's just a conversation. Hey, I need to see your text messages daily. And if that kid now is saying, no, you're not going to see my text messages, now you have to figure out.
So notice the pushback.
Exactly. As soon as you feel a pushback, that's the line. Okay, now how do I figure out how to touch that line without crossing it? So it's maybe, now you don't, maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't get text messages. Now that privilege now is taken away. So now for them to have text messages, they can see your text messages. So now it's like, okay, you got to figure out how to touch the line and not cross it, because now if you cross it, you're like, you get text messages, but I have to see them. Now they're gonna hate you, essentially, because you're in their privacy.
Yeah, a lot of that sounds like wording. Like if I'm using the words like "give me," "I have to," and that's what I do a lot of times, is teach some of my clients how to rephrase your words so that they don't sound as pushy or overbearing or intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
They sound a little bit more of like a partnership rather than no, you better give them to me type of a thing, because that's where you kill the spirit of your kid and taint them to the point where they don't want to even open up to you anymore.
Yeah.
One thing I really like that my mom does is she knows everything, but she doesn't say that she knows until she feels like it needs to be said, or until she feels like you're crossing a line, or she has to step in and be mom. So yeah, Mom, I know that you know. But that, for me, that's really essential, because I know that she knows things. Sometimes she'll just drop a little hint, or she'll say something, and I'm like, oh my God, she knows, and I like freak out. But that also, I kind of have a little bit more of a respect, or a little bit more where I'm not going to push back as much, because I know that she's going to let me do it. She's going to let me go ahead and do whatever it is I'm trying to do without being all up in my business and trying to control it. But so I don't know, I just feel a lot of comfort knowing that she's going to let me run it anyway.
So it's almost like if I know what's going on and I'm observant and I'm planting little seeds to let you know that I know, but I'm also backing off and giving you that space, you appreciate that. It's something that you honor, something that makes you feel good, knowing that I might know a little bit of it. I don't know all of it, because I'd be in there going, hey, tell me more. But I know a little bit of it, and I'm letting you know that subtly, and then also stepping back, giving you that space to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, I think I kind of thought of a cool example, but it's hey, there's a text message. Hey, we're gonna ditch class today. We will see you in the parking lot.
Oh no, you're not. No, I'm saying.
well, let's say your mom sees that text, goes to your text, and now you're grounded. That's the crossing the boundary. And I think what Jazz was saying is, maybe you just make you make a hint. Hey, how was lunch today? And now
hey, I was thinking of coming by and dropping you off a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at lunch tomorrow.
Whatever it is, and now they're caught, and now they're like, okay, she knows. So now that you're not going to do that anymore, because you know that that's not something that you can keep getting away with.
So lighten up a little bit, right? Like lighten up. Don't be so rigid and so like ready to pounce. Be more playful in your parenting.
It all depends on your age too, because what was the original question again?
The question was how to be involved in your life to where I don't become overbearing.
Yeah. See, this it's really age dependent, in my opinion. Because when I was younger, I was more like, Mom, give me some space. I'm doing me right now. I'm trying to gain some experiences. But now that I'm a little older, I'm 22. I'm like, hey, Mom, what you doing? Where you at? I haven't talked to you in a couple of days, type stuff. So,
well, one of the things that I can take from my own personal experience is, I love you so much that I want to hang out with you and be your best friend. And one of the toughest things is to know that you're off doing your own thing, and I get to trust that at a certain point in your life, when you make a shift or turn the corner, that we're going to reconnect and have an amazing and extraordinary bond with each other. And I look at my life with my dad, and I think to myself, when I was a teenager and I was a young man, I had to go out and do my things for myself. But I now know what it feels like to have my dad want to spend time with me during that time. And it's just part of a learning experience, a learning curve, and it's having some patience and also trust that our bond is strong enough that that time will come. And I got to learn as a parent to let my kids fly. I got to give them the space to go out and do your thing. And, as long as you don't go move across the country, because I'm going to have to come follow you. But, go out and do your thing. And I got to, and it's a process that both me and your mom have been practicing, is surrender. Surrender, give them the space so that they can go find the amazing champions that they are. And so that's a learning process that we as parents get to realize and come to that conclusion. And then some of us don't. We're still there trying to come from fear and holding on and not wanting to let them go.
Yeah, that's a tough process on both ends. My mom, she feels the same way, and I acknowledge that and I know it. So it's pressure on me too, because I want to be there. I'm a couple states away.
Yeah.
We're not there 20 minutes.
So tips to the millennials, call your mamas.
Yeah.
But you know what? If as a parent, if you don't back off and you don't let us go and have that moment in our 20s, and because realistically, how long is that going to go on? 5, 6, 7 years, where that turnaround is. If you don't back off and you don't let us have our space, there might not be a turnaround. I might forever be, Mom, get out of my life, get out of my business. I might have a family and not call you up and say, hey, how's it going? Because I know you're going to call me this week.
Yeah, and that's my worst fear. My worst fear is to be right there all the time, to where I turn you off so bad that you just don't want to, come back. And so that's obviously what I don't want. So I'm aware of that and mindful of it. So I have to practice going, all right, Alex, back off. Let them do their thing. And so it's a dance for us as parents. But we love you guys. We want to be able to be in your life, and we got to try to figure that out. As a marketer, with so much information at your fingertips with the internet, do you feel it's important still to speak to a professional, or would you prefer to only communicate through text or emails? So let's say this marketer is a loan officer or a real estate agent, and they want to reach you, and they know that you have information and you can get all the information you need. They're probably sitting there going, as a professional, I want them to know that is valuable to be in their ear and to reach out to them. So they're trying to figure you out. How do they market to you? Is it through text and emails, or are they making phone calls? Because they're used to old school phone calls and setting up lunches face to face with you. So how do you guys like to be approached when it comes to professionals wanting to reach out to you?
We're talking about ads, or
like a real estate agent or a loan officer. If they want to market you and they're trying to figure you out, they want to know what's the best way to communicate. Is it through text and email, or is phone call okay? They're trying to figure out how the best way to hook you.
So I've noticed that because I get a lot of calls.
Solicitations.
Yeah. So if I answer one of those calls and it all of a sudden sounds like a
pitch.
Yeah, then I'm already instantly turned off.
Got it.
I also know that if you call me and I don't answer, and then you call me again, and I'll probably answer the second time just because I'm like, okay, this person really, wants to talk to me. And if it comes off more conversational, or, hey, I know you through this person, or, then it's more of a conversation. But if you send me a text right away, oh yeah, sure, let's meet. I will respond to a text in my own time. You might have to call me 3 or 4 times before I even answer the phone.
Yeah, that's true. That's the same on my
You guys
end.
aren't answering phone calls, are you?
No, especially if I answer too and I realize it's a cold call or something. Oh, no, I got to get off the phone right away, or else please take me off your list.
I'm turned off by them too. I answer a call, and as soon as there's that pause, because you heard that pause, that they're mass dialing, and then the person that answers, they're giving a few seconds to come on. When I hear that pause, I'm just hanging up.
Yeah, I don't even answer phone calls that I don't know, because if I don't know, usually it's someone like that. And I think, as a younger generation, for me at least, I like to send if I don't know you, I'm not going to just straight cold call you. I'm going to send you a text. Hey, my name's Mark. This is what I do, da-da-da. Can we get on a phone call? hey, are you open to talking later today?
Okay, but let's say it was a real estate agent that you were at a network meeting, or you were out and about and you ran into, and you go, oh yeah, I'm looking for a home, and they go, oh, I'm a real estate agent. Here's my card. How do they follow up with you? Is it best with a text? Hey,
I think a text follow up. Hey, want to just follow up with you, see if you're available.
You want to
for
chat
lunch
or have
today,
coffee? Okay,
exactly.
All
Yeah,
right.
and that's for me the best way.
Short, simple, right?
Yeah, that's the best way to communicate, because now I'm able to, whatever I'm doing at this moment, I'm able to get back to you whenever I feel free. And if I don't get back to you, that's an obvious sign. Hey, I'm not interested.
Back off.
Yeah.
Got it.
I'm about to give you some really good business advice right now. If you can establish a relationship, a casual friendship type relationship, I won't feel like you're this scummy guy or you're trying to sell me something. I won't feel like, you're just trying to get your cut or make money. I feel like you're really invested in me and you're really interested in me. So if you send a casual text and then we follow up with a phone call and we go to lunch and we have fun and everything and we just click together, I'm more likely to be to work with you, be one of your clients or help you out and refer you than I am if you just call me with that sales pitch and you keep bugging me and you'll know if as millennials, you'll know if we're into this relationship or not, because you'll get response backs from texts or emails or calls, or, if you're not getting any response, we're not interested or we're not interested right now.
I love that. It's great advice. So be authentic in your reaching out, and then also look to see if there's a click. If we click, we click. If we don't try to force it either, right?
Yeah, I think forcing it is kind of what is a big turnoff.
Got it.
For us.
All right, as a parent, here's a parent. Compared to when I was young, I had a huge drive and motivation to work hard to get what I want. It looks like to me that today's youth are not self-motivated and appear to expect everything to be easy and forthcoming without busting your butt to earn it. So here's an assumption. Why do you expect to get paid top dollar for such little effort?
I got it. It's because
I got this one.
It's because we work smarter, not harder. So
Nice.
we're really creative. So if I have $1 million idea and you're used to buying $1 million ideas for $10, I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm going to move on to the next millennial who's moving up on the rankings and has a business who's going to buy my $1 million idea for $1 million. You have to kind of realize that the game's changing and you're not the only one playing anymore. There's people who are like me who are going to start pushing you out of the way, and they're going to be the ones who are taking over. So if you can't understand how we work, then you will probably never be able to work with us.
Well, and that's why we're having this conversation. Yeah. And like for you, talking about working smarter, not harder, you write these amazing lyrics and songs in an hour.
Yeah.
And so
Correct.
For you, it's like you're kind of going, why would I have to work? Why do I have to work for 6 months to write a hit when I can just trust myself, get into the zone, and get into my creative, space, and I can create something right away. You guys are used to just diving in and creating greatness and masterpieces.
Yeah, and even when we do that in short times notice, it's still hard work. Yeah.
Just because
I feel attacked by that question, by the way.
Yeah, just because
it's an assumption that from their perspective, right?
Yeah, just because it didn't take 6 months to make $100,000, it took essentially 30 minutes. Doesn't mean that it wasn't hard work or it wasn't something that that's what I think people have a hard time believing, because hey, I was working hands on for 6 months. That's for them, they feel like they deserve it more.
Yeah, and I think that back then the world wasn't primed to be able to accept and fairly compensate smart thinking, like working smarter than harder. Back then, you just had to work harder.
Yeah, there was no other option.
Yeah, there was no I'm working smarter rather than being harder. Back then, it was just you just got to work hard, and then the universe,
started rewarding.
Yeah, because you worked hard but today's world. The game has changed.
Yes, the
right?
internet.
Yeah, the internet plus social media and reality shows. Now you can just be a reality show and be interesting, and all of a sudden be valuable and be worth millions of dollars.
Yep.
So the game has changed. We're gonna go on a break. We come back. I got some powerful stuff. I can't believe we ran out of time.
Stay tuned for more My Conscious Dad right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Welcome back to My Conscious Dad right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Today we are talking about millennials, and this is going to be our last segment with me, Jazmine Urbina, your host, my dad and co-host Alex Urbina, my brother Mark Urbina, and Rio Cragun. And today we are going to finish up some of these questions.
So let me shoot this at you. This business person wrote, I heard a millennial once say that the most intimate thing she can do is give you her phone number. It makes me think that true connection and intimate relationships are fading away. Shaking hands has become obsolete, and it's easy to assume that with the millennials that building up personal relationships are going away. And as a baby boomer or Generation X, it's disheartening. What are your thoughts?
I think that's completely wrong, and that's, if more than anything, they're getting stronger as far as now there's a bigger space for communication between people. So it's there's just a disconnect between that person not understanding, you can essentially reach me through 5 to 10 different platforms at all times.
But I think they're talking more about interpersonal, like when they're approaching you or walking up, they must be experiencing more and more millennials not walking up going, hey, how you doing, shaking hand, making eye contact. When you walk in a room, do you walk in and shake everyone's hand? Because when we grew up, that's what our parents taught us. That's what our grandpa used to tell us. Hey, when you come in, come greet me. And they'd make us come over and shake their hand or give them a hug or a kiss. And that's what we were taught. So we're noticing more and more that the younger generations aren't either being taught that or they just don't see the value of it.
No, I think we're just not fake anymore. So
True.
So when I walk into a room, I greet everybody who I have a relationship with. I greet, my aunts, I greet my grandparents, I greet my cousins, everybody who takes the time to invest in me and who invest in our family.
But what about a social event when you walk in? Do you walk up and introduce yourself? Do you open your hand to do a handshake or?
Yeah, if I'm trying to get out there and network or whatever it looks like, then yeah, I will. But I think what the girl meant by the most intimate thing you could do is get
He was a man.
Yeah, I know, but the girl was the phone number.
Got it.
So if she says, oh, the most intimate thing I can do is give you my phone number.
That means I trust you.
Yeah, like I don't think you're gonna send me all this spam, and I don't think you're gonna bug me every day. I know personally, I don't just go around handing out my phone number because I'm afraid.
So you feel the same way?
Yeah, I'm afraid that you're going to either, blow me up with a bunch of spam, or you're just going to bug me, or I don't really like you. Whatever that looks like, that's a true statement. That's a very intimate thing to give out your phone number.
I think
Very personal.
To a stranger.
But as old folks, we don't. I guess I've never seen it like that. So when he said that, I was like, that's interesting because I've never thought about it like that.
Because you could shake 100 hands and give your number away one time. A handshake just means, that's it. Just you got a handshake and that's it. You're done.
So I'm assuming that is it intimate and personal because you're on it so long? Because it's like your phone is you're using it so much that it's kind of like a part of you, or what?
Yeah, it's an extension of you. That's what it's evolved into, the cell phone.
And it has access straight to you.
Yeah.
Right. It's a direct line to me, and I don't want to give it to you if I don't want to talk to you.
and I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but you either have to win me over. You have to have the ability to connect with me. We have to, like you said, we got to click. You got to win me over, and then I'll once I trust you, then I'll give you my number.
One thing I like to do too is, I know the old school style is to hand out business cards, but what I'll do right away is, just here's my number, send me a text so I have your number on my phone. That's so much more valuable than you handing me your business card. Yeah. So when somebody says that to me, I'm like, oh, okay, and I give it out. If I really don't want to give it out, here's my card.
you have a video that's pretty cool. It's a kid that's rolling up on his bike, and then he meets a girl, and there's a scene where he hands her the phone, and then she puts her number in. Is that what you guys are doing now? Is it now that intimate where you turn it over and then let somebody else put their number in, or is it just a convenient thing?
It all depends on the situation, I guess.
Okay, so if you're vibing on a girl, that's what you would do. But in a personal or a business relationship or connection, you're not handing your phone over to somebody, right?
No.
It just depends. It depends on the situation. If it's a millennial to a millennial, then yeah, it's that's a norm.
So it's usual and customary to do that for a millennial, but for
A lot of
someone like
times-
me, you wouldn't say, here, put your number in.
Yeah, a lot of times I think I've came across this situation where I may have put the number in wrong. I may spell their name wrong. I may not even know their name at that point. So now by me giving you the phone, you have direct access to whatever. You can put your email in there. You can put your phone number. You can put your correct name.
So it's just to give them a little more control to make sure it's accurate, basically.
Yeah.
So I could be making stuff up that's not even there.
It-
All right, here's the last question.
Okay.
I feel that that they have somewhat of a superiority complex because they have so many answers at their fingerprints or fingertips because they are smart. What are your thoughts? So apparently you're being perceived as that you somewhat have this chip on your shoulder, that you guys, know more than us, and you can get more information, and you are smarter than most of us, and so you kind of walk around with the superiority complex.
I think with so many people trying to beat us down so much, because it's already a saying, like, oh, he's a millennial, like that. You guys are not you guys, but everyone puts these us millennials in a box, like as if we're entitled, or we deserve something, or we have a superiority, whatever that looks like. They put us in that box, and then I don't know why. Maybe you're jealous. Maybe you're upset because we don't do things the way that you do. But think about your parents.
I think that's right on for most older people. It's that your way we don't understand. It doesn't make sense to us. So we could probably easily be judgmental and go, why, and so we're critical and judgmental because we don't understand your world, and that's why. Hence, we're having this conversation to try to understand on both sides what's going on.
But at the end of the day, I feel like they need us, we need them.
That's right. Absolutely, we do need each other, and if you have if you have a chip on your shoulder, that's all a perception of what people are seeing.
What would be awesome is if we could get some of the Generation X and the baby boomers to kind of understand that too, because I don't know any millennial that will say, no, that older guy that has so much knowledge has nothing for me. I don't know any millennial that would say that, but I know plenty of baby boomers and Generation X that would say that millennial has nothing for me. So I think if we could get them to kind of open their eyes, because I feel like we're willing to work with them, and most of the time they're not really willing to work with us. Or we're willing to change a little bit to be with them, and they're not willing to change to be with us.
And I want to just thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for being candid, open, and honest, and sharing your insight with us. I know I learned a lot. I hope that you listening, that you found some little golden nuggets, some goodies for you to be a more effective parent to your kids, or a more inspiring motivator. And thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us today on My Conscious Dad. We're here every Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.